Who knows you the best and still loves you? Is it your wife, friend, mother, father, brother, sister, whoever it is? What is it about them? Isn't that the definition of true friendship? Somebody knows everything about you and still loves you. Here's the question. Does can God do that in your life? Can he know everything about you and still love you? Well, great questions. And the answer is absolutely yes. As a matter of fact, he's the one who defines love. The reason my wife knows everything about me, and still loves me, and I know everything about her, and I still love her, is because of this. Because God first loved us. And because he loved us first, I can love. So that's great news. Welcome. I'm Brian. Faith, Fit, Psalms. We're in on my playlist. Tip the scales, turning into prayer, the Psalms, and we're in Psalm 139. This is actually Psalm 139, part two. We're going to be looking at verses 7 through 18. Part one looked at the first six verses, and you may still not be over the shock and awe of the goodness of God in those first six verses, that it's all true. It's too good to be true, but it's true nonetheless. And now we're going to go a little further, and you'll be even more amazed. And we're going to take the Word of God and turn it into prayer and dialogue with the living God. I think we all know uh, the importance of prayer, and yet there's a pushback to prayer. We said it. We try to pray and then we don't end up praying because we don't make an appointment, or we get to the appointment and then we get busy thinking other thoughts and we don't know what to say. And this playlist, this series I'm doing on Tip the Scale, is to come alongside and encourage you to make an appointment, start small, start 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and let it be contagious. And I'm going to give you vocabulary, a language of prayer. And again, the important thing is here you're listening and you're talking. Maybe you use your ears in proportion to your mouth so you listen twice as much as you speak. God is not a genie that we rub him and try to get something from him. And he's not Santa either, where we come up with this long list of things that we want him to do for us. And he's God. He created us, and you're going to see some scriptures in here that are absolutely stunning and shocking for good. Okay, you with me on that? Okay, as we start, we're going to look at Psalm 139. I'm reading from the New Living Translation, and we're going to look at verse 7 through 18. And but before we do that, just a couple of reminders of some principles. The Word of God, the written of this particular psalm was written 3,000 years ago, still alive, still active, still jumps off the page and still speaks to us and changes us and encourages us and gives us bursts of hope and information and revelation and understanding and counsel. And it's amazing. I like no other book can do that. This has been tried and true. Even though David wrote it 3,000 years ago, it's alive. Secondly, in this prayer thing, or this thing we call prayer, it's a dialogue. We talk, we listen, we respond. God listens, he responds. And I want to encourage you, you can hear the voice of God in your heart. You can. You've been created for that. It's actually quite normal. It's like fish don't need to breathe under the water, or I guess they breathe in a different way. Um, you were created to have a conversation with God, to live a lifestyle of prayer with God. You can hear his voice and you can respond to him, and you don't have to be afraid of him. John chapter 10 says, Jesus says, I'm the good shepherd, and I'm your shepherd. You're the sheep of my pasture. I know everything about you. The first six verses. I'm intimately acquainted. My hand of blessing is on your head. You can hear my voice because my sheep recognize my voice. So are you ready? May you hear his voice as we take these next few verses, actually about 10 of them, and turn them into prayer. Tip the scales in your favor through prayer. Verse 7, we've already done the first 6 verses. Verse 7, part 2. I can never escape from your presence. Well, would you want to? Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes we feel bad about ourselves, right? We're guilty. We've sinned. We're fallen short, part of life. And so we try to hide. I can never escape from your presence. Um, if I go up to heaven, verse 8, you're there. Now, of course, that's probably a pretty obvious one. I figure if I go to heaven, God will be there. But this next one, if I go down to the place of the dead, Sheol, hell, you're there too. I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't know that part. I just figured you wouldn't be there, but you are. If I ride the wings, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up really early in the morning, ride the wings of the morning, and go to the most remote place on the face of the earth. I'll dwell by the farthest islands. Oh my gosh. Verse 10. Even there, your hand will guide me and your strength will support me. Wow. You just bask in that. I mean, what else can you do but say, well, thank you. Thank you for the times that I turned my back and I tried to hide and I ran away and I got busy and you still were there. When I kind of opened up my eyes again, you were there. And you were accepting and you were forgiving. Oh God, give me the grace to run towards you, not away from you. See, I'm just having a dialogue here with prayer. If I do this again tomorrow, well, I'll say different things because it's when I talk to my wife yesterday, today, and tomorrow, talk about different things. But it's always in love. Wow. Verse 11. I know. I got one more option here. I'm going to make a deal with darkness. I say, hey, darkness, hide me. Hide me from him. And may the light around me be night. But even in darkness, I can't hide. To you, the night shines as bright as the day. Darkness and light are alike to you. What do I think from all those verses? I say, Lord, I run towards you. I love you. I'm just not big enough or strong enough or smart enough to hide from you because your love is tracking me down. Psalm 23 says, surely his goodness and unfailing love will pursue me with the intent of overtaking me all the days of my life. He has set his heart to bless us. I'm slowing down. I'm stopping. I'm letting him overwhelm me. So you could take a few moments and go, Lord, let your love just overwhelm me. It's good for you. It's good for you. Oh, it's going to get better. Verse 13 says, maybe you didn't know this. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I mean, how else did you get there? Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Yeah. And if you're involved in a marriage or a deep relationship, we are complex people. And I certainly am to my wife at times and vice versa. That's okay. Thank you for making me complex. Your workmanship, the way you made me is marvelous. How well I know it. Can you say that? And if you can't, that's okay. Ask the Lord to change that. Lord, when I think about myself, I don't, I don't see myself as being marvelously made or wonderfully complex. I don't like myself. I've had too many people tell me negative things about myself, or I think negative thoughts about myself from the enemy of my soul, that I can't imagine that you think I'm wonderful. Could you change me? Change my thinking? Could you change my heart? Ooh. Well, that's a prayer he answers because he does not like it when his sons and daughters don't like themselves or are hounded by lies. No, no, no. He made you wonderfully complex. He formed your inner parts when you were in your mother's womb. Verse 15 says, "You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion." My wife and I, loving parents of 5 children, I still lay my head on her belly and just say, wow, there's a son or a daughter in there being formed. Who are you? What are you? But God, he sees through the belly, if you will. He's like the perfect ultrasound machine. He sees right into you. You watch me as I'm being formed, as I was woven together in the darkness of the womb. In verse 16, you saw me before I was born. Wow. Every day in my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before even one of them had come to pass, even before a single day. All my life was set in motion, and he loved me. He knew I was going to fail. He knew I was going to struggle. He knew I was going to do whatever the worst thing you think you've ever done. He knew about it when you were in the womb. He knew you before you were born. And he said, I love you. Isn't that life changing? Lays his hand, a blessing on her head, touches her heart so deeply. You meditate on that. 5 minutes goes to 10 to 12. All of a sudden you're like, hey, I got to get back to work. Who doesn't want to believe this and let this roll over and change our lives and be the encourager? It's great to have a wife, a friend, a brother, a sister, a co-worker, but there's nothing like the living God comes to live in your heart. He speaks to you and says, yeah, I made you just the way you are, and I love you just the way you are. Now you can relax. You can be yourself. You can be in peace. Verse 17 and 18. How precious are your thoughts about me, Lord? No, he's not thinking bad thoughts about. His thoughts towards you are precious. They're for your good. They're innumerable. If I try to count them, they'd outnumber the sand on the seashore. Every so often when I go to the beach, you stick my hand in the dirt or the sand, and of course it just kind of drops through. And I think, imagine if I had to count just one handful, and then you look up and down the beach, a mile this way, a mile that way, and that's all I can see. Of course, if I go a mile, I'll see another mile. It's forever, up and down the East Coast. So are his thoughts towards us. They outnumber the sand on the seashore, and the thoughts for our welfare, for our good. Prayer should never, ever be difficult again, because this is what we do. We come to him and we let him wash over. And you know what it does? It changes us, makes me kinder, more gentle, more peaceful, softens my words, softens my heart, thaws out my heart. Yeah. Wow. Psalm 139, part 2. I don't know which is better, part 1 or 2, part 2, but if you put them all together, it's something you can bookmark. You can look at this the rest of your life. I've been doing this for 40 years, and if I do it again tomorrow, it'll be fresh, alive, invigorating, powerful, able to change. I bless you. Keep coming back for more. Keep checking me out. Share it with somebody. Sit down with somebody. Tipping the scales, turning the Psalms into prayer on your behalf. May the peace of God be with you. I love you. I bless you. Peace.